Welcome to episode 8 of Rough Draft, the MLB Pro radio show that tries to get it under an hour, but it's pretty rough. My name is John Comey. With me again so far, as always, Scott Guessford. Scott, how are you?
I'm good, John. How about you today?
I'm a teacher in May. That's all we need to know.
I understand that.
Yeah. Before we get to first draft, here is the MLB Pro snapshot for May 15th, 2023. I should start creating a fake sponsor for that. It's brought to us by Sony. Send me a camera. AL East, Toronto Blue Jays, 25-14. They're a half game up on Tampa Bay Rays, 2.5 up on the Orioles. AL Central, the Twins are 27-14. They're 4.5 up on the Tigers. In the AL West, the Angels are 28-13. They are tied for the best record in baseball. They are 4.5 up on the Mariners and Astros and A's heading into tonight's games. In the National League, the Braves are 20-13. They're 4.5 up on the Nationals in the AL East, 5.5 up on the Phillies, and 6 up on the Marlins. In the Central, the Brewers are 20-20. They have reached 500. They are half game up on the Cardinals, 2.5 up on the Reds. And in the NL West, the Colorado Rockies are 26-15. They are a game up on the Dodgers and 7 up on the surging Diamondbacks. Let's get to first pick, which I had this week. And it is simply Houston's back again. I thought about having Eminem song on my head for that because, guess who's back? Houston's back. Anyway, the Astros, nobody wanted to hear me try and do Eminem. Nobody wants me. No. Anyway, well, I'm sure some people do, but nobody listening to this.
Well, they might use it for memes.
Maybe, but I think in listening to this, most people are sober, and so they don't want this. So the Astros come into today at 23-17. They are 9-3 so far in May. They have really turned things around from their ugly start, and what's behind it is their pitching. They are second in the American League in starters ERA. They're not all the way back yet. They're still 9th in FIP. They're 10th in bullpen ERA. They're 9th in pitching WAR, but their defense also first in defensive efficiency, second in zone rating, first in errors. They had a scare with Juan Davila leaving his most recent start. I guess I thought he did. Thought I saw that. Oh, maybe I was wrong. I apologize. I was wrong. I thought he left the start recently because of injury. But nope, apparently not. That was somebody else.
Oh.
Anyway, whatever. I'm leaving it in because whatever. But they've been playing really well. Are the Astros fully back in your mind, Scott?
Yeah, I've been fearful that the Astros are going to turn it on, and their bats still have not totally woken up yet. And if they can get their bats going with their pitching, I still see that there's a class of the AL West.
Do you think, what to you gives them the advantage over the Angels?
Well, the Angels have been there, so they might. They have the playoff experience. I just like the overall makeup of the Astros team compared to the Angels. But we're probably splitting hairs, right? They're probably two of the best teams in all of MLB Pro.
Yeah, I'll take the Angels over the Astros because look, when we did the rotation draft, they were the top rotation. We did the bullpen draft, they were the top bullpen. They are first in nearly every pitching category, but this isn't about the Angels. The Astros, again, Bill Black has been better than he was last year. I was wondering if he was going to be good in Houston, but 3-1, 3.80 ERA, 1.27 whip, down from 1.67 a year ago. He's pitching at a 109 ERA plus. The thing that worries me about him, I guess it's his entire career. He's got a 323 BABIP, which is, I don't understand that when the defense is as good as it is. But Davia is pitching great, 4-2, 2.25 ERA. Ryan Weathers has been excellent. He's got a 0.75 whip and a 141 ERA plus so far in his starts, in his 8 starts. And then the back end, Rangel McMillan has been really underrated, pitching to a 1.03 whip and a 230 BABIP. So there might be some regression there. And then John Lamb has been pretty decent. 2-2 with a 1.18 whip, a 217 BABIP. So again, there could be some regression to the mean. Last question before we move on, who outside of Fernando Tatis and Alex Bregman, who needs to step up on this team for them to really get going?
I think Joey Bart needs to produce some more on the offensive side. And then whoever is going to be their regular right fielder right now, it's Richard Fowler, who's not doing bad, but he's got 97 OPS plus. I mean, so he's just basically average. I think for them to take a next step, he needs to move up.
Okay.
Bring it.
Yeah, I mean, George Keiko could be another one. He was hit 312 last year with an 846 OPS. He's hitting 133 so far this year and an OPS plus of just 24. So yeah, I mean, they've been good, but they can turn it around. One thing I did see, and maybe this is probably what I saw, not Davia, but Julian Silva is out for 4 weeks. So that's a tough one. He's hitting 282, 333, 486, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs. That's a tough one to miss for a month when the guys around him have not been producing. So they will need their big bats to step up in the absence of Silva. Who's your first round pick?
Well, just to add on to that real quick at the end, I mean, they're having divisional games like this weekend against the A's, and then they play the Twins at the end of the month, and then they go into the Angels again to start next month. So to be without your biggest bat will be difficult to do.
Yeah, if they can just turn on the other bats, they'll be set. So
yeah, exactly. My number one pick is that Tampa Bay is closing the gap on Toronto. Tampa had a good week last week, 5-3 in the last 8 games, which 7-3 in the last 10. So they're starting to come on, and they're within a half a game of Toronto. Do you think Tampa's for real?
Oh, well, okay. So Tampa was in first place for a couple of days last week before they lost at New York on Sunday. Do you think, the whole closing the gap thing, does it say more about Tampa or more about Toronto?
I think it's both. I think Toronto's aging and coming back to the AL East, but I also think Tampa, with all their good young players, are starting to take that step forward to be in serious contention for the next few years.
Toronto is 7-4 in May. They've been performing, I think, better than advertised. Tampa's 8-5. I mean, at this point, when you say that a team is for real, you're looking for consistent victories. You're looking for a team that's winning at a 619 clip like the Rays are doing and not getting streaky on the losses. The Rays have lost 2 in a row 3 times this year. They've not lost more than 2 in a row at all this season. They haven't lost 2 in a row since April 24th and 25th. Of course, that could change this week because they go to New York. They go to play the Mets. Even though the Mets are not playing well, it's still hard to win at their park. The Rays as a definitive contender, no, they're not for real. The reason they're not for real is because their core is still incredibly young. O'Neal Cruz, Bobby Witt, Jared Kelenic, Elliot Jenkins, Garrett DeChambeau, they haven't gone through it before. Hunter Johnson, who's been god awful terrible this year, just can't get it together. There's nobody on their staff that has been through any sort of success at the big league level. And you're going up against teams that have it in spades, whether it's the Angels, whether it's the Mariners, whether it's the Twins, whether it's the Blue Jays. They have to have more sustained success at that next step before you can say they're for real. For this regular season, yeah, they're for real. As a contender, no. For a World Series, I should say, no, they're not for real. They're not there yet. Plus, they have other guys who are going to come up, and so I can't say they're for real. What do you think?
Yeah,
I know what you think.
Yeah,
You think
yeah,
they're
I
the
know you know
greatest
what I
team ever
think.
created.
No, I don't think that they're the greatest team ever created, but I think that the building process that Heinz did before you and that you're continuing on is a roadmap, kind of like what Houston did a few years ago to build their team the way it is now. That you build sustainability and a long lasting future instead of, hey, I'm going for it 1 year.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the team is too, and there's too much youthful talent to try and put everything in the 1 year. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
But
and
I
I
mean,
think
so
at some point during the year, Tampa's going to go on a losing streak. I mean, because they're, like you said, they're young kids. They don't have the experience yet. So if Tampa can avoid, you know, the 5-6 game losing streak, then I think Tampa has a great chance to overtake Toronto for the division.
yeah, I mean, the hope is that they really went through that streakiness last year, which they did. But it remains to be seen. They have the Mets this week and then home for Milwaukee, Toronto, and the Dodgers. So big stretch coming up, especially that 4-game set next week, Monday through Thursday, Tampa and Toronto in Tampa. That's going to be a big one. My second pick, I always want to try and talk about teams who might fall under the headlines. And so you can look at this one of two ways. The struggling White Sox take 3 of 4 from Kansas City. So you can look at this as I am as a way to talk about the White Sox because that's what I want to do. Or you can pile on more with Kansas City, which I'm not going to do. So the White Sox are 12-30. They have the second worst record in baseball at this point. Pittsburgh and the Cubs, I guess technically third worst record because Chicago, the Cubs and the Pirates are both 11-30. The White Sox, they are pretty much last in every offensive category and every pitching and defensive category. It might seem like there isn't a whole lot of hope. There's no hope for this year's squad, but there are some nice pieces to talk about. Matt Cronin being one of them. He has pitched really well this year. He's 0-3, but with a 3.34 ERA, a 1.11 WHIP. He's got an ERA plus of 124, 32 hits and 35 innings allowed, just 2 home runs allowed, and only 7 walks. Like he's performing very well. He's 25. George Kirby has not been great. 1.3 1.9 whip, which, as I said last week, 1.4, you're pitching badly. He's gonna have 55 hits in 49 2/3 innings, and 10 home runs. But if he starts to limit the home runs, and the walks, he's walked 14, which is weird for him. Um, he could be rather pretty good. Um, what are the pieces that you think will be on the next good White Sox team that are currently on this roster?
On the major league roster or in
Yes.
the minors? Oh, okay.
No, on the big league roster. Like, I think Cronin can be there, Kirby,
Cronin,
Sandy
yeah.
Alcantara. Um, Hebert Ruiz will likely be there. Um, Still Walker could be there. I think Still Walker could be a piece. Cam
Yeah.
Eden, maybe. I don't know. I mean, Jared Stevens also.
Yeah, I see them, they need a lot of their minor leaguers to start stepping up and coming forward to turn it around. But they
Oh
have a
yeah, of
few
course.
pieces. They have a few pieces to build upon, like you said, Ruiz. I mean, you can never go wrong building around a catcher, can you? In a couple arms. So I mean, and then you have some fillers, right? So they're going to struggle this year, and we'll see how the trade deadline goes for them, if they're selling or what at the deadline.
Who on this team is a trade piece?
That's a good question. I mean, I think Archie Bradley, but he's making $17 million for the next 3 years, so that limits his
Right.
value, and he's struggling. So I mean, I don't know who they could move to get some bigger pieces. Most of their
Right.
people are like average, so it's hard to move
Would you
those.
trade
For
Ryan Kerr?
I mean, he's 25. He has like what 4 years of control left. I guess it would depend on what you could get for him.
Right. Right. But you can't trade Stevens. You signed him to a 4-year, $48 million extension. Like I mean, you could trade Fremel Reyes. You could move him, could move Blake Rutherford.
Yeah, some of
You
their
know,
pieces that you would think that you might be able to move are struggling, and so they're hard to move.
right, right. Even somebody like Brett Cumberland, who could be a very coveted defensive catcher, he is currently 3 for 35 on the season. So that can be hard. Like, times are tough on the South Side, but there's one guy that I'm gonna just bring up, and then Rich Mamaro, who's pitching god awful terrible this year. He's got a 3.19 whip, 13 hits in 5 1/3 innings, a 15.19 ERA, 15.19 ERA. He looks loaded with talent, though. He's just 20. He's a young 23. He's up for the first time, and he's walking 6.8 per 9 innings, but I fully expect that to change. He looks like the next big closer in the league. He looks the part, and if you can shorten the games, I mean, that's the first step to me towards
Right.
becoming a competitive team, is to shorten games. And he looks like somebody who can help you shorten the games.
Right, and I
So
think the biggest arm that they have that I can see, he's hurt for the next 4 days, but that's Eric Braun.
yes, of course.
They got him in the Kyle Cody trade a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one
He's a
major
big
piece
one there.
to build around.
Right.
So my second round pick was, who makes the next big move? Who's going to start trading off some pieces? I mean, I'm sure there's some own or GMs out there that are seeing what the Cubs are doing with their rebuild, and they want to get in on it. I mean, is it somebody like San Diego, who's lost 6 in a row? Or is it, somebody that we might not even consider right now?
Are you talking big move as in buying and or selling or
Yes, buying
just
and or
buying?
selling.
Oh, okay. Um, well, I mean, look, it's the league. Any team can make any move on any given day. Like nobody's ever safe. Uh, any move can be made on any given day. So it comes down to like, what are the holes and what is the flexibility for some teams? Like Tampa wants impact bats. They have avenues to impact bats, but they only go so far. So could they make a move for Ed Howard? And then possibly move Cade Cahill because Cahill's up for an extension. It's possible. How likely is it? I don't know. I honestly, I really don't know. Um, could the Twins make a move? Um, they have a hole at shortstop. Could they go after like Andres Jimenez from Pittsburgh? Um, I would consider that a big move at this stage. A contender getting a piece that can be fit for their core. Um, the Red Sox are only 18 and 22. They could go either way. And would they be definitive on their season? Like they're getting Robert Paulus back in a week. Roberto Muniz is back. He hasn't been out that long, but like, he was nicked up. Sawyer Cleveland is showing power. He's still not getting on base, but he's up to 9 home runs on the year. I mean, do you have a prediction, like a specific prediction in mind?
No, I think we're gonna get more. I can see somebody in the NL Central, Milwaukee, St. Louis, or Cincinnati, trying to make that first big move to put a little bit of distance in between them and somebody else in the NL Central. I don't know if they can do that. I mean, they're pretty equal teams.
I mean,
Somebody has to make a move.
what move could there is one move Cincinnati could make, and like they could jump into the Ed Howard sweepstakes, but then are you really going to trade prospects to a division rival?
Right. Exactly. That makes it much more
Um,
difficult, doesn't it?
yeah. I mean, let's just assume that Ed Howard's the next piece being moved. Let's just make that assumption. Um,
Ed
where
Harris?
it, yeah, Ed Harris.
Okay, I thought you said
Did I s-
Howard. So I, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, Ed Harris. Ed Harris. Where do you think he'll end up?
Let's see. That's a great question. The Cubs have been kind of not secretive, but not. I mean, there's no rumors. I mean, the anonymous GM isn't getting a bunch of rumors to go out there and start filling the tabloids. But I mean, somebody like, I mean, even Oakland has been looking for a left fielder. Who's gonna take him on? I mean, where can he go where he'll fit right away? It's a difficult thing because you know if a contending team trades for Ed Harris, that opens up another spot, for them to move somebody else to make room. So I'm
Yeah,
not
I mean,
sure where Ed Harris is going to go, but we know he's going to go.
yeah, and I don't think the Cubs are getting offers that they fancy. I think that's why you haven't heard anything. Um, if I'm gonna if I'm gonna be bold, which I sure, um, I see 2 destinations for him, and then move on. The Cardinals. I could see him going to the Cardinals. Um,
Mhm.
and Detroit. I can see him going to Detroit. I can see those two teams uh, trying to jump to the front on getting him. I don't know what it would take. Like I don't know what would work in those deals, but I could see those two teams making a play for him. Um, Toronto,
Yeah.
as we'll talk about here in a little bit, that they don't have the flexibility, I think, to go get him. Um, and the Dodgers, I think they have their outfield pieces that they like, even though Kurt Franklin can't hit worth a lick right now. A lot of the contending teams do seem to be pretty set in the outfield, which is why I think the Cubs are having difficulty.
The other place
Um,
I could see him going right now might be to Baltimore. Detmer's not having a very good year at 231, 331. There's some room
yeah,
there.
maybe. I mean, Detmer's a far more talented player than Howard. You probably just would ride that one out.
Right.
So anyway, my third round pick is Hideki Abe, finally caught after 34 attempts. So last week I used my third round pick to have Clayton Kershaw, on the verge of history, which I didn't even check to see if he did. Like, I'm fairly positive he did, though I don't know when it was done. So I'm actually looking that up right now, as opposed to talking about Abe. Abe had his record-setting streak of 34 consecutive steals without being caught broken earlier this week. I'm totally stuck on Kershaw. Oh no, it wasn't there. We just to get on the Kershaw thing, we had predicted that Charlie Harper would be Kershaw's 2500 strikeout victim. I should have gone with my gut. Harper doubled, but he then struck out Cam Gundy, National League NL MVP candidate Cam Gundy, struck him out looking to get his 2500 strikeouts. So that's where that went. Abe. So Abe wasn't caught for his last 21 steals last year, it looks like. This year, when was he caught and who got him? So he was caught. This is going to take me a sec, I'm sure. Oh, nope, won't. He was caught by JJ Schwartz, Phillies catcher. He was caught yesterday. His first on the year after 13 attempts. I don't know when he started the streak last year, but the reason I bring this up, one, it's a record, but it's also a record that might not ever get broken. You want to take a guess on what second on this list is of consecutive steals? All time. This is all time. I don't know
All
what
time.
year, but this is all time.
Okay. I'm going to guess 17.
Okay, that's reasonable. The second longest streak is 21 by Raul Aguilera. And that actually probably was broken. That might have been broken earlier this year because he went 17 attempts. No, he went 16 attempts in 2022 without being caught. He was 16 out of 16. The current longest streak is Luis Seda with the Marlins. He is at 19 without being caught. He's only stolen 5 so far this year, but Abe went 13 more attempts than Aguilera, second on the list. What do you like? Do you think that this will be a record that gets broken?
Well,
And if so, who might break it?
I say all records will be broken at some point, but I don't know who. You have to find somebody that gets a great jump off of the pitch and has light out speed. we have a lot of people in our league that have the type of speed that could do it, but not a whole bunch that have the base running instincts to do it. So I
No,
don't know who has, who. I mean, I don't think Sada's going to get anywhere near it, but
no, he's
you
got
know,
to nearly double it to do so. Um,
yeah,
one inter- one interesting fact, and then we'll move on to your last pick. Abe also owns the all-time record for hitting streak at 36, which he did in 2021. Number 2 on that list, Aguilera. He's tied with Shin-Soo Choo at 30 games, which he did back in 2020. It's just weird that they're 1-2 on both of those lists. That's just weird to me. I
yes, it
find that
is.
interesting. Yeah. All right. So congrats, Abe, on your record.
Yes.
I think that's going to stand for a while. Watch you get broken in like a month. All right. What's your last pick?
My last pick is Ronald Acuna is finally turning it around and becoming the superstar that he was projected to be when he was traded from Oakland before I got here to Miami. I mean, he's batting 336. Nope, just lost it. 336, 418 on base percentage, 978 on base plus slugging, and a 180 OPS plus rating. He's just playing good ball. I mean, he's gone hitless in his last 2 games, but for him to finally turn it around, I'm sure Miami is thrilled to see that. Now, if they can just get a couple more pieces around him, they could be good.
So we're a little late on this headline. He's actually, if you go by OPS, he's actually been worse in May than he was in April. So in April, he had 290, 394, 591. He had all 5 of his home runs in April. He had a 986 OPS. So far in May, he's hitting 419, 458, 488 for a 944 OPS plus, but 419 on the average. For his 336, 418, 559 on the season. And you could see this progression. Like, he's always had the power. Last year he was good. He was
Yeah,
good.
he's good.
Miami's got a garbage hitting ballpark. He had 270, 381, 487 for an 867. So when you say that he's finally turned it around, I really think that the proper pick is, he seems to have broken through that superstar threshold where he could be a face of the game. Whereas 2 years ago, no, we're at 239, 328, 462. Just too inconsistent, struck out 203 times. So far this year, he's only struck out 33 times. He's on pace for only 130 strikeouts only, but still.
Yeah.
He's on pace for a 7 WAR season, which is good enough to win MVP in some circles. The question I would have is, if he has a 7 WAR season, would it be good enough? And I guess we should add the caveat that the Marlins finish above 500. They're 22-19 now. Where on the MVP list do you think he would rank?
And that's a hard question. I mean, like, even like Abe that you were just talking about, he's on pace for 5.5 raw. I mean, most of the time speedy guys don't win MVPs, but I think he has to be in the conversation. Acuna has to be in the conversation if he continues to have this season that he's having. Do I think he'll win the MVP? No, probably not. I mean, especially if Miami continues to hover around the 500 mark.
I would think MVP for if the Marlins finish over 500 when that was nowhere near expected of them this season, that would be tremendous for Acuna.
Right.
you know,
I mean, like,
um,
I don't think Acuna is where Sparks is right now. I think
no,
right
no, no,
now,
no, no, no.
Sparks would be number one right now.
Oh, I think he has to be, but how sustainable is what Taylor Sparks doing
Right.
versus what Acuna's doing? I would think what Acuna's doing is more sustainable.
Yeah.
So it's just how far, what is Sparks's regression looking like? And that I think that's what that would come down to, in my opinion. But Acuna could be top three, top four. I mean, right now he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's 12th in the league in WAR right now, 1.8 WAR. Um, there's Jerry McDonald and Miller Thomas and Cam Gundy and Sparks, and that's really about it in front of him. Victor Robles is tied with him. So, oh, and I forgot Alonso Martinez. Alonso Martinez is him. Like National League,
Oh, yeah.
the NL MVP is going to be very crowded this year, but Acuna's got to be in the conversation. If the Marlins finish over 500, I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts on that one. Let's get to who won the trade. So there were two trades. One happened today. The first trade involves Kansas City and Oakland. Kansas City receives Griffin Conine from the A's for Garrett Mitchell. I know where you're going because it's kind of impossible for you to actually judge this, because
Right.
you're not going to go and say, "Oh, I think I lost the trade." Actually, I might do that. I did that earlier. So I'm going to give my view on this, because we already know you're going to think you won the trade. I think Oakland wins the trade, but I almost put nobody, because I could see that scenario too. I don't like Griffin Conine. I don't like him. I don't. There's too many holes in that swing. He's already, and he's down in AAA, which can't be the great for him. He's 25 and down in AAA. Because he got off to a 1-for-9 start. I don't understand either. Like, if you trade for the guy, he's for 9. He only struck out 3 times. I get the negative 38 OPS plus. I didn't think I'd see a negative OPS plus, but solid. But why wouldn't you just let him hit and work through that and get used to the new team? Can't be endearing yourself to him in a particularly good way. Mitchell does things that I like. I mean, he runs, he's a good defender. He's got potential for some pop in his bat, which he did have. He had 18 home runs. I should say 21 home runs in minor league ball last year. I don't think he gets on base consistently enough. He's another player who doesn't, he does not avoid strikeouts. There are holes in his swing, and he doesn't make contact enough to where I'm like, okay, you can make use of him. I think in the end, he becomes a 4th outfielder, which, if you would completely written off Griffin Conine, fine, because I don't think Griffin Conine is somebody who will sustain in MLB Pro, but it's a thin win for the A's in my view.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I have Robert Bannatyne in AAA that is hitting lights out, but I wanted to stay down in AAA for a while and get us at bats and stuff like that. So I was looking for a left fielder to bridge that gap, and then somebody to be a 4th or 5th outfielder once he gets the call up.
Yeah, which I get. And if he becomes a 4th outfielder, I mean, that could be a win. I like his defense in anywhere but left field, but that
Right.
could be something to work on. The other trade, we're actually split on. So this was Cubs in Toronto. This happened earlier today. Let me actually pull up the names so that I have this right. So the Cubs send Byron Buxton and retain 70% of his contract. The Blue Jays send center fielder Chris Burnett and prospect closer Billy Lawler, who I haven't even looked at him. In fact, I haven't looked at either one of these two guys, but I have Toronto winning this and you have the Cubs winning this. Why do you have the Cubs winning it?
I have the Cubs winning this because, although Buxton, his ratings and stuff look good, he has never really produced much in the major leagues over the last few years. Like you said, I don't know much about these prospects. I looked up Lawler for like 30 seconds after I saw the trade. He has a bunch of control issues, but he can throw gas.
Yeah.
So I know Chicago is trading off their veteran. So, you're not going to get a lot from Buxton.
Right.
So he went out and got a flyer,
So here's why I think this is a complete win for Toronto. We've talked at length about their flexibility. They have as much financial flexibility as, an old man trying to stand up at a deli. They have none. They have no flexibility. They are as financially stiff as a board. They just got a fourth outfielder, an upgrade fourth outfielder. He's an upgrade over Chris Burnett. He's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Because defensively, he might be the best outfielder in baseball. And you just got him. You just got him for a 28-year-old journeyman what's he going to do? He's going to fill a roster spot in the Cubs organization, either at the big league level or in AAA for the next 2 years, and then he's gone. And a lottery ticket of a pitcher. So they're able to get that and have it fit their flexibility where they really had none. That is tremendous to me. That is, whatever they get offensively out of Buxton is a win. But the fact that now you can throw him out there and improve your defense in any outfield position. Oh yeah. I mean, and they need defensive help. They're not good defensively.
No, not at all. And Josh Wilcox is, having a rough time.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to replace Wilcox, but
yeah,
I mean,
if Buxton goes on a streak, you might for a few days, but yeah, a good fourth outfielder. I mean, if you're looking for somebody to come in and play defense for you and swipe a base, Buxton's your guy. But if you're looking for an everyday player, not.
Well, I think realistically, I think he could play every day because you could set up a system where, maybe you're playing Wilcox every day. You could be rotating Buxton, Stanton, and Roberto Lopez and have them playing, every day, sitting one. The other thing this does, and this is why I really like Roberto Lopez, currently their center fielder. He's not a good center fielder. He is a natural right fielder. He is a natural right fielder. Lopez arguably has the best arm in baseball, but he is not a skillful outfielder. You have now been able to put somebody out there who is, and they don't have that on their team. Like I'm really impressed overall with this trade from Toronto, given the framework in which I know they have to work and what they were able to get. I think they maximized their ability to upgrade their roster on this, and that's brilliant to me.
And this is what Mitch is great at, right? Getting those fringe players who look like they're not going to help you very much and come in and help. Play the great defense, steal the base for you when time's crucial, and working within his budget.
Yeah,
Mitch always finds a way to do that.
Yeah, really.
So I'm not saying
really
anything. I think Buxton's going to help Toronto, but I just, for where the Cubs are, I mean, whatever you get for a guy like Buxton is a bonus.
Oh, I feel like they might have been able to get more, like more in terms of, you know, uh, not Chris Burnett. I feel like that could have been a thing. But I don't know.
I think maybe he was thrown into balanced salaries. I don't know what their salaries are, but or maybe there's a 40-man roster crunch
Yeah, yeah.
for one
I
of
mean, it
them.
had to be something. It's some financial relief plus a roster spot. So, all right. Um, we're actually gonna stick with prospects for second draft. Um, we have we drafted the next 6 prospects that we think are going to make the show. You have the first pick.
Yeah, and I took the person who I thought was pretty obvious, and that's Riley Green. We talked about him before. There's nothing. I don't see anything left for him to prove in AAA. Now, he might need a few more at bats down there, but I think he's ready to make the call. And with Texas, struggling where they're at, 16 and 24, why not bring him up now? Let him maybe struggle for 2023 and be ready to break out in 2024.
So he's a number 19 prospect, according to MLB Pro Digest. He's hitting 263, 330, 526 in AAA Round Rock through 106 plate appearances. He has not played above AA before this year. This is a situation, he'll be 23 at the end of the season in September. If you're Texas, you have no reason to rush him. You got none. Because again, you're 16 and 24 in a division where literally everybody else is over 500, and 3 of the teams are bona fide World Series contenders. You got Jordan Akins in left field, who, yeah, he's not performing, and is likely the guy who is going to lose his job as a result of Riley Green. He's 31 and a free agent, making 7.7 million this year. He's probably as good as gone. However, I think they're gonna at least have him stay there for half the year, or until
Yeah,
the trade deadline. Like if they see if they can move Akins and then just turn it over to Green. But I don't think he's going to be the first one up.
no, but I think he'll be up by the All-Star break. I know
Okay.
that's a couple months away. People don't promote prospects a lot at this time of the year. So, yeah, I see him being a bona fide major leaguer. And, he might have some struggles this year. But like we said about Griffin Conine, sometimes you just got to let them play out. The A's are having that same situation with Bentley. Jake Bentley, the third baseman. I mean, he's only hitting 190 right now. So see how that goes. But I like Riley Green a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So when I did this, I took this as like, okay, who's going to be the very next prospect up? And that's why I'm really glad that you left my number 1 pick out there, because I think Adam Smith will be up with the Angels sooner than later. It was actually mentioned last night that Austin Tate, the 2022 AL Rookie of the Year, who's hitting just 191, 242, 223 for a 465 OPS and a 33 OPS plus, maybe on his way down to AAA to kind of get the sophomore slump out of his system, just get out of the pressure of playing in Anaheim. And that would lead one to believe that Adam Smith would take his place. Smith is oh, come on, there we go. So Smith he's their number 1 prospect. He is the number 12 prospect in baseball. He is 23. He is hitting 285, 361, 467 at AAA Salt Lake City for a 119 OPS plus, 6 homers, 23 RBIs. He still has some growth, it looks like, to his game, but the way Austin Tate is going, like this situation's different than Texas, where Texas doesn't have much of a reason to bring up Riley Green. The Angels have a pretty big reason to bring up Adam Smith, and that's why I think he could be up much sooner than anybody else that we drafted.
Oh yeah, he could be up in the next few days. I mean, the Angels, I think, are starting to hear the footsteps of Houston and Seattle behind them.
I would think they kind of tune them out at this point, but yeah.
That could be, and then, you know, hopefully Tate can get it straightened out, whether it's in the majors or back in AAA, because he has a good future ahead of him too. I think the
Yeah.
plan was for Tate to be the second baseman and Smith to be the shortstop. Of the
Well, I mean,
future.
and that could be what it is. I mean, it's not like Gleyber Torres is really tearing up things either. 252, 338, 358, and a 96 OPS plus. He's performing fine, but you know, I could see a scenario where Smith is up by the end of the month at the very least. And especially if Tate does not turn around like next week. Yeah, I could see that happening. What's your second pick?
My second round pick is starting pitcher Christian Graham from San Francisco. And San Francisco's in the same boat as Texas, right? Nothing really to play for in 2023 except for some respect and stuff like that. But I really like Christian Graham. I think he can be a very good starting pitcher in this league for a long time. He's, I don't know, not real. I wouldn't say he's struggling in AAA with a 4.29 ERA right now, because that's a hitter's ballpark. But he has the stuff, and he's looks to be almost fully developed from my point of view. A little bit of room on his changeup to go, but yeah, I just don't know. Like you said before with Green, is if San Francisco is going to call him up and start that clock on him yet.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I actually would have gone with a different pitcher in San Francisco system, Colin Hurrell, the number 23 overall prospect. So Graham,
Mhm.
just to circle back to Graham. Graham is the number 73 prospect, according to MLB Pro Digest. He is pitching. He's 3-2 with a 4.29 ERA, a 1.36 WHIP on the season, 103 ERA plus. He has struck out 49 in 42 innings, 21 walks, 6 home runs allowed. This is his second year in AAA, and he is 24 and a half. He will turn 25 on October 30th of this year. He does have excellent stuff. My scouts see that he could also improve on what is already an elite curveball. You know, he looks like he could be a mid-rotation guy, and he is somebody. He's a lefty, throws gas 90 to 100. He is somebody who I think we'll see post All-Star break. But Hurrell is the other guy. I don't want to say Hurrell. Hurrell's the other guy he's the number 23 prospect overall, 5-3, 2.91 ERA. He just turned 24 yesterday. Happy belated birthday. 1.08 WHIP, a 151 ERA plus. Between the two, I would think Hurrell would get the nod over Graham based on production, but I could see both of them coming up at the same time. I could totally see that, and that could be a trade deadline thing too. You know, when there are roster spots for them.
I was looking at it from I like Hurrell also, but I think that Graham has the brighter future. That's just me personally. Doesn't mean that's the way it'll work out, but that's the only reason why I took Graham over Hurrell.
Yeah. Okay. My second pick is Evan Waxman with Cleveland. So this is the third player that was in the Cade Cahill deal, which could end up being one of the most lopsided deals of the decade. Grayson Rodriguez, who is a top 10 prospect in baseball. Alec Thomas, who's producing at the big league level and doing a very good job, and Waxman. So Waxman's 23. He's the number 35 prospect in baseball. He's in his second year in AAA. He's in Columbus. He's hitting 300, 355, 471 for an 827 OPS, 125 OPS plus, 7 homers, 17 RBIs. He is somebody who will strike out a lot, but his contact skill is more than good enough to see him through to the big league level. He's also a solid defender and a decent runner, base runner as well. The Clippers have him at third base. He probably projects more as a first baseman, but he's somebody whose timetable, he's 23, he'll be 24. He probably is a post trading block player to me, because again, the Guardians, even though the Guardians are better than they were to start the year, they don't have a real big need to bring him up right now. So, and they've got Adam Hall already, breaking himself in, and Byron White also doing that. Their infield does look very promising, and Waxman's a big part of it. So, but yeah, I see him as like a post trading block guy.
Yeah, me too. And he could slide right into like a DH spot and back up both White and Hall when needed. Yeah, he looks very solid, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland started in the near future, maybe at the beginning of June, to start trading off some of their veteran pieces that they have.
Oh, he could probably slot in as the first baseman right now. You can make White a utility guy. Even though White's hitting really well, 360, 377, 420. Nice. I'm not sure that is sustainable for somebody who's having he hit 316 last year, so in his first season. So, maybe
you move him over, you move White, Byron right over to second base where he can play also, and take, how do you ever pronounce, Ironman out of the lineup, who's batting 160, 266 with a 47 OPS plus.
Yeah, Ironman looks more like a utility guy, but they have tons of flexibility in the infield. Like, they're really doing it right. But yeah, I like Waxman a lot. I mean, I didn't last year when I traded him, but he does look the part right now. Who's your third pick?
My third pick is basically a couple guys in the San Diego farm system, which is starting pitcher Michael Brooks and center fielder Chase Fiedler. They're both having good years at AAA, and they have some people at their major league level that are just struggling. So I can either see them making a couple of moves by trading some pieces that are blocking them, or by just calling them up and going with a 6-man rotation and getting some at bats in center field, because their batters are struggling. Jeremy Sullivan, he's batting 210, 268. Then they have Kelsley Henderson. I mean, those are your two leadoff batters, and he's batting 188, 234.
And 248 on slugging. Henderson's been terrible.
Yeah. But they're in the same position. I mean, do they call them up and start their clock, or do they keep them down? And but there's not much left for them to prove it in AAA.
No, like Michael Brooks, he needs to be up. At some point, you can start to hinder development on guys. And exactly. And like, he's somebody who needs to be up. Like, he is, like, Dan Jeffries is not good. He's not good.
No.
Dan Jeffries could be good as a reliever. Like there could be something there, but he's not. He's not good.
So where do you rate
you know,
a 1.64 whip at this point of the year?
uh,
That's Dan Jeffries.
that's mop up duty. Like that's a please avert your eyes.
That's
yeah,
Addison
Michael,
Reed territory.
let's not go there. Michael Brooks should be up. I don't think that Feeler is really a good prospect over. He's he's 96th overall. And I mean, I could be seeing something different. Like he's got good speed. He's been hitting, but I think it's an inconsistent bat. At 23 in his first 30 games in AAA, he's somebody I wouldn't rush and just let him be there, probably through the trading deadline and you're 9 games under 500. What are you rushing? Michael Brooks, on the other hand, like he's somebody who's got to start getting innings at the big league level because he can, you don't want to stun his development. My third pick is Dan Hughes, Tampa Bay. Hughes is the number, what is he, 19? No, he's not that high. Hughes, 22. He's 22. He's the number 21 prospect in baseball. He is in his second year of duty with AAA Durham. And last year, he was 14-5 with a 3.24 ERA, a 1.15 whip, and an ERA plus of 125. So far this year, he's only 1-2, but with a 1.19 ERA, a 0.75 whip, and a 3.45 ERA plus. Now that is built up on a 2.24 BABIP, but hitters are not making good contact against him. I know the organization's been waiting to see that changeup develop. That changeup has pretty much developed. It's time for him to come up. Why isn't he up?
I don't know who is. I probably would be taking out Carlos Meza right now. Not that he's playing horrible, but and he's making $20 million. It's hard to put a $20 million guy in the bullpen. Or do you send Hunter Johnson back down to AAA for a little bit and see if he can, mentally turn it around, because he's just struggling bad so far this year.
Yeah, no, Mays is the odd guy out in that, he was in the bullpen last year and was okay. He wasn't great, but he was okay. But Mays is the odd guy out, and just a because of the off day and guys are getting back to full strength. Just a little spoiler, Mesa is out of the rotation, starting tomorrow. But
what about Hunter Johnson?
Hunter Johnson's a different story. Like, he is somebody who he was good last year, is good 2 years ago. He's hitting, like, there's a 341 BABIP against him. His Ks are down. His walks are up.
Home runs are up.
I don't think you send him down. Like, I don't know what that would achieve. And I think you just pitch through it with him. I think you could go to a 6-man rotation. And I think that's what they're gearing toward, because Hughes has been on a pitch count all year. So I think you can definitely go to a 6-man, because Aaron Ashby has pitched beautifully out of the rotation. Like, there is no reason to take him out of it this year. Or right now, he's been fantastic. Kevin Clancy, the team is really high on. Don't see him being out of the rotation. At some point though, Oswalt maybe one of the best pitchers in baseball at this point. He's been freaking phenomenal. And John Roberts, who the coaching staff reportedly wants to put in the rotation, might be too good in the bullpen to move. But you have 3 guys who are going to be coming up sooner, like maybe 4 guys. Though I imagine at least one of them will get traded. Hughes, Navy Schuler, Ethan Reed, who was up earlier this year. He came back down to make room for Clancy, and Brian Chan. And
Yeah, and then
at
you already
least,
have
like,
Duncan Dulamalier. Yeah, I never pronounce that name correctly. Hunter Johnson and Kevin Clancy. So
yeah,
Tampa's going to have a. I always call that a good problem, right? You
yeah,
got a lot
oh
of
yeah,
great starters. Somebody's going to have to go, or 2.
yeah. But Mays is probably the first guy. And then but it's also in the order, like, but Hughes is somebody who could be up today. I think the Rays just haven't done it out of precaution, and also out of the fact that they don't necessarily need the help at the moment, and would rather he continue to cook in AAA, but then come up and potentially struggle, and so. But he could come up today, and will probably be up sooner than later. So who do you think? And this is for the listener, who do you think will be the next prospect up? Let us know. We would like to hear it. Maybe we'll put it on the air next week. With the feedback we would like to get from you. Anyway,
Yes.
let's go to stash sell. That was no, in no certain terms, any sort of subtlety. Let's go to stash sell. Who are you stashing this week?
For this week, I'm stashing Clayton Kershaw. I know he just got his 2,500 strikeout, but this week he has a two-game matchup, and I love pitchers to have 2-game matchups. 2 matchups in 1 week. So he's gonna have a matchup against the Yankees, and then one against Baltimore, probably on Sunday. I just think he is rolling right now, and there's no reason to think it's going to stop anytime soon.
So when you say rolling,
Well,
are you talking about 1.60 whip rolling? Are you talking about 387 BABIP rolling? Because that's what he's done in May so far.
yeah, but he's for overall for the year, he's at a 3.12 ERA, a 134 ERA plus. I just think
Oh,
Toronto's on a roll right now, and I don't see why he's not going to do well in both of his starts this week.
so yeah, I mean, getting the Yankees, he does pitch well. He's 1-0 with a 1.42 ERA. Struck out 9 and 6 1/3 in his only start against New York. He's not faced Baltimore this year. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any reason to not buy him, other than his stock is already pretty high, but he is
Right.
not pitching well as of late, which, maybe you're catching the Yankees at the right time. I can put it that way. He is
Yeah,
4 and
like I
3, 3.14, 46 hits in 43rd innings, 1.26 whip. Again, 325 BABIP, which is concerning, but
like I said, I approach this kind of like as a fantasy baseball type of thing from my younger days, and a pitcher with 2 start weeks is always important to have.
right, right. I am stashing another pitcher, that being Rod Swift. Swift is not performing really well, so this is like a buy low for me. He's 3-2 with a 4.72 ERA. He's got a 1.45 whip, which is terrible as defined. He is pitching badly. 88 ERA plus. And really it's been May. He's been terrible in May, which is why I'm stashing him. Guess what his BABIP is in May?
423.
520.
I was trying to figure high and I wasn't even close.
Yeah, 520 BABIP in May. 13 hits and 7 1/3 in 2 starts. 8 earned runs. The thing that that does have me buying high on him, even though his walks are up at 4.9, he is striking out 11 per 9 in May so far. And so I'm, you know, I'm like, it's a classic buy low. They are they and I don't know when his next start is. Actually, his next he is primed for 2 starts as well. This
Yes.
week, in against the White Sox and against the Mets. If you've ever needed a get right week, this is the get right week for Rod Swift, because the White Sox and Mets are they combine to suck on offense. They like combine to make the Captain Planet of sucking on offense. And I like Rod Swift's chances to have a good week, and so I'll buy low on him. Who are you selling? You're selling wholesale this week.
I'm selling a wholesale. I'm selling a team this week, and sorry, Aiden, if you're listening, but I'm selling the Cardinals this week. They're playing. They have a
Why?
3 games. They have a 3-game set against Milwaukee, and then a 4-game set against the Dodgers. They've already slipped out of first place and under 500. I just think that they're on a tailspin, and they're not going to get out of it this week.
You want to know a good indicator that you're not a good team?
That you're under 500.
They're under 500 at home. They're 9-10 at Busch. They're 1-7
4-8 in
in
May.
1-run games. Yeah, they're 1-7 in 1-1 games. They are 7-8 against lefties. Yeah, their pitching is good. Their pitching is good. Well, their
Right.
starting pitching is their starting pitching is good. Their offense is dreadful. If they should be somebody who is in line for Ed Harris but I mean, you're not crossing that barrier to go get a Cub like that. That's never happened.
Right. And what
They're
are
not.
you going to give up and make the Cubs that much better in a year or two when you're going to be weakened on top of it?
So, but yeah. So I get that. I'm selling Austin Tate because he's performing horribly and is, if I'm going to believe and believe what I saw last night, he might not be long for the position in which he is currently in. So I will sell him now.
Yeah, and you usually don't hear Matt in the chat room saying, I might have to send Tate down.
No,
that's unusual.
No, he's like, heavily encrypted. He's like he's like the Apple chosen password before you pick, choose your own. And then Apple's like, are you sure? Because I have 46 digits and hieroglyphics for a password. And you're like, no, I'm going to choose my own. And Apple's like, you're an idiot, but okay. That is the Angels in a nutshell to me.
Yeah. Hey, if I can real quickly here, we got a trade that just got posted.
Oh.
That's between the Angels and the Royals.
Okay. Let's talk about.
So the Angels are trading
this one. Oh, let's talk about this more next week, I think. Because I think it's going to need a deeper dive. The crux of it is David Davies going to the Angels, which
the rich get richer.
That needs a deeper dive. So yeah, but that just happened. That's a thing. But I'm not prepared. I don't think either one of us are prepared to analyze that.
No.
No. So we'll talk about that next week. Let's get the head-to-head.
Okay.
So last week, here were the categories. Millard Thomas's hit streak will last through Friday. We'll get the 17 games. Nope, it ended at 15. We both got that one. Will the Blue Jays have a winning week? They had 5 games. Nope, they went 2-3. You said no. I said yes. So you got that one. I did not. Over under on winless starters through at least with at least 4 games started. There were 16. I have a screenshot of the 16 that we were looking at. The over under was 10.5. We both took the over, and there 4 of them got their first win. I honestly God don't remember who it was. I know Steven Strasburg was one, and there were 3 others of little to no consequence. But there's 12, and so we both get the over. And then the series of the week, Seattle in Detroit. You took Seattle. I took Detroit. The Tigers screw me again. Seattle took 2 out of 3. So you went 4-0. You're at 17-8. I went 2-2. I'm at 12-13. Here is this week. Number 1, Riley Pint is currently at he has won 9 straight decisions. Will he get his 10th in Friday against Seattle? That's when he is likely to get his next start. Will he get it?
I said no. I like Seattle in that game right now.
Okay. I also said no. It could be a no no
Just
decision
no
thing.
decision.
That's
Right. Yeah.
that's what I was going for with this thing. Riley Pint, so second, I mean, for all time, he's not on the list all time, but he's currently the longest active streak at 9. So we're both on no at that. The longest streak, I should say, is 21 games in a row by Felix Hernandez, which had to be in 2017. It doesn't show up here for me. It had to be 2017 when he went 21-3. Number 2, Jerry McDonald, 200 plus OPS plus, which is where he is now. He's over that mark. I think it's a 206.
6, I think it was. Yeah.
You know, where is it? Yep, 206 OPS plus.
Yeah.
Will he be over 200 OPS plus a week from now?
I said no. Keeping up with the 200 OPS is very hard to do. I don't see him continue on with that streak.
I said no as well. And the reason I said no is because of the pitching he's going up against. So the Twins, they're 3rd and 5th, 3rd in WAR, pitching WAR. They're 6th in starters ERA, 4th in bullpen ERA. They're 3rd in strikeouts. Like, they are a good pitching staff. And then the Cardinals, they have the best starters ERA in the National League and the 4th most strikeouts. Like, they are still a really good starting rotation. And so I think this is a week where McDonald might struggle a little bit against those pitchers, against those staffs. So we're both on the under on that one. Last week I did winless starters. This week we're doing homerless hitters. So there are currently 14 hitters in the league who have at least 100 plate appearances and 0 home runs. 1 week from today, and I took a screenshot already of that. The over under is 12.5. What did you take?
I took the under. I'm just thinking that a couple people are going to hit a long ball for the first time this year. Don't ask me why. I don't even know who's on the list.
So
I didn't
here's
even
the
look
list.
at the list.
Here's the list. It's Roberto Torres, Nico Horner, Anthony Kerr, Cristoforio Fiasole, Raul Aguilera, Tony Cooper, Enrique Bradfield, Andres Llanes, Alexis Hilton, Austin Tate, Nick Brandon, Andres Aguilar, Kelsey Henderson, and Nick McCoy.
Also take the under. I think at least 2 of those guys are going to hit a home run this week.
Okay. I took the over. I can't foresee a single one of these guys hitting a home run. I just can't do it. I mean, like, if you look at, so what, 8 of the guys, 9 of the guys have at most 8 doubles on the year. 6 of them have at most 6 No, 7 of them have at most 6 doubles on the year. 6 of them have it at most 4 doubles on the year. Like you see the trend I'm going down here.
Mhm.
There's
Yep.
not a lot of pop. There's not a lot of pop in these guys. And the 2 likeliest candidates will be Roberto Torres and Tony Cooper. And maybe Torres, maybe. But I'm not feeling it, at least for one more week. I'm just gonna go with that. And Torres being a guy who only hit 3 home runs last year, I think I'm safe. He's got a career
Yeah.
slugging percentage of 410. 29 career home runs. I think I'm safe on that one. So I took the
Well,
over.
you've thought you've been kind of safe on a couple of your picks in the last couple of weeks, and you're 2-6. So
Sooner or later, the safe has to come in. So lastly, series of the week, we decided to pit the mediocre against the average. Brewers at Cardinals in the slap fest for the NL Central lead, which the Brewers, hold. I don't know if hold is the correct term here.
How
They're
about
up by half a
leading?
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have received the participation award by being a half step faster than the Cardinals. Who you taking in this series?
Hey, and all you have to do is be a half a step better than somebody else to win. I'm taking Milwaukee. Like I said before, I sold St. Louis for the week. I just think that they're struggling, and Milwaukee's starting to come a little bit alive. So I'm going to take Milwaukee to win this series.
Yeah, I mean, this is before I saw that St. Louis had a losing record at home, which has me like, well, like I should go against you. Oh, by the way, the Brewers are 7-14 at home. All right, I'm
Yeah,
taking the
but
Brewers. I'm taking the
but they're
Brewers. Like
they're
the
13-6 on the road.
yeah, the Cardinals can't win at home and Milwaukee can't win at home, and it just so happens that they're on the road. I'm taking Milwaukee. I can't.
So
As
so
much as I
this
want to take the
is
Cardinals,
so this is the first live broadcast switcheroo
is it?
in the head-to-head.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't do these till right before we went on air. I mean,
Yeah,
the Brewers aren't exactly lighting up, but like that's the one reason I would take the Cardinals is because of the Cardinals starting pitching. But then everything else about the Cardinals is terrible.
yeah. So here's another
Not that
opportunity for the people that are listening, that if they see a series of the week that happens between Monday of one week and Sunday the next week, let us know, and we might use that as our series of the week.
yeah, otherwise you deal with what we pick. And I don't really
You
know
get
where
what you
else to go
get.
with that. But yeah,
As my
yeah,
dad said, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, right?
yeah. In elementary school, they say you get what you get and you don't get upset. I never said that because I would just like, I would just tell second graders, ish happens. Not saying ish. And the kid would be like, ain't that the effing truth? Which isn't really that far off from that. I'm trying not to swear. I'm trying not to get the label. I mean, because everybody knows I swear up a storm if I could, but I'm trying to keep this wholesome or
You've done a
something.
good job on all of our podcasts. You haven't really gone there yet.
Yeah, I mean, typically on the podcast I don't, but when I get out of here, like it's gonna be like 10 curse words in a row. Anyway, any final thoughts on today?
No,
This week?
I'm looking forward to this week. We just crossed the 1/4 of the way, the 1/4 poll. So maybe next week we look at where our season's predictions have gone, or maybe 2
2
weeks from now
weeks.
at the end, 2
2
weeks
weeks
into
from
May.
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
end of
that'd
May.
be nice just to
End of July is when we'll do it.
Yeah, and then we can laugh at each other and say that was stupid, so
I mean, well, I looked at them a little bit today. Now we don't really have a whole lot of reason to do that right now. But who knows? 2 weeks. There's a lot of time between now and 2 weeks. All right.
Yep,
Well,
exactly.
it's shaping up to be a week in baseball. Whether it's a good one or bad one is not up to us, but we'll report on it next week. For Scott, this is Comey. Thanks for listening to episode 8 of Rough Draft. Have a wonderful whenever it is, wherever you are.